You're listening to Sox in the Basement, a production of the Broadcast Basement Limited, where every show is 30 minutes of good and comes from a basement bar on the south side of Chicago. Pull up a stool, pour a cold one, and join us right now for Sox in the Basement. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at soxinthebasement.com. And welcome down to Sox in the Basement. My name is Chris Lanuti. Pull up a stool in my 9-foot homemade oak bar and pour yourself a cold one. The podcast started by two lifelong friends who grew up across the street from each other on the south side of Chicago has become a phenomenon. And then baseball went haywire because the world went haywire. And while we wait to find out if baseball will restart and when it will happen here in 2020, we have the full, complete 2020 season simulated ever since opening day right here at Sox in the Basement using MLB The Show 20 and brought to you by Cork and Carry at thepark.com. 33rd in Princeton. Great food, amazing menu items. You can get them to go. You can get them delivered right there through Grubhub or direct at Cork and Carry at thepark.com. And remember, they're open now. Go get a cold one and support a local Southside tradition. 2 games into a very long road trip, and the White Sox have had 2 crazy games. 13 innings on Friday night here at Minute Maid Park, and then a big 26-run combined game yesterday where the White Sox were on the losing end 15-11. And now Zach Greinke faces the White Sox, and he's only leading in all the All-Star projections to be the starting pitcher for the American League. And Dallas Keuchel returns back to Houston, now a member of the Chicago White Sox. Plus, we had a transaction right before the game began. We'll tell you all about it, but first, we head out now to Minute Maid Park. Game 3 of this 3-game set. Sox, Astros, on Sox in the Basement, found everywhere podcasts can be found and always at soxinthebasement.com. Let's go. Minute Maid Park, and it's open once again. The roof is retracted, and we'll play outside today, unlike yesterday, as the 44-27 White Sox take on the 42-28 Houston Astros. It's Zach Greinke versus Dallas Keuchel in the rubber match here in Houston. My name is Chris Lanuti, and on the mound is Zach Greinke. 14 starts, 7-2 record, 2.47 ERA, and a whip under 1 at 0.97. Over 98 and a third innings, only 77 hits and 18 walks, 87 strikeouts. The big right-hander is a really good pitcher, and the White Sox send out all their starters today against him. Tim Anderson hitting .331, 5 homers, 33 RBI. Comes to the plate. Greinke into the wind, and the pitch on the way. Down to first base. Chopper, received. They step on the bag. There's one gone. 1 pitch, 1 out for Zach Greinke. Dallas Keuchel will face him. Yasmani Grandal's hitting .280. He's 6th in the American League right now with 18 total home runs. He leads the White Sox in that category. Standing in the left-handed batter's box, takes a ball outside, 1-0 the count. The Astros are in second place in their division, just like we are in ours. Both of us would be wild card teams if the season ended today, and the game would be played in Chicago. Line drive up the middle, base hit. Grandal's on first. We've got a run around with 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Jose Abreu comes up. 50 RBI, 12 home runs. Leads in the American League voting to be the starting first baseman, along with the guy who just got a base hit, Yasmani Grandal, at catcher, hitting .273. And sitting in the top 10 right now in runs batted in across the American League. An outside fastball misses, 1-0 the count. Grandal at first, 1 out, top of the first inning. A pitcher's duel on Friday, a softball game yesterday. The pitcher's duel was outside. The softball game was indoors. We're back outside now in the open air. Beautiful day here on a Sunday afternoon. 2-0 now to Abreu. Swung on and missed a slider away, 2-1. The next offering, inside, sent out to center field. Tailing back, he'll make the play over his shoulder as Springer. And there's 2 gone. Grandal remains at first base. with 2 outs here in the top of the first. Yoan Moncada hitting .327, 12 homers and 39 RBIs, getting on base at a .377 clip. Will bat from the left side against the righty Greinke. White Sox wearing the road pants with the black tops. Astros wearing their home pants with alternate blue and orange solid tops. A strike down the middle, 0-1 the count. Both teams mixing it up today on Sunday. But then again, those uniforms have to be pretty dirty after the last 2 games. Intense games. 13 innings on Friday. 26 runs scored yesterday between the 2 teams. And the series split so far. 1-1 the count here to Moncada. The pitch on the way from Greinke. Swung on and missed an outside fastball, 1-2. White Sox made a move before this game. Kelvin Herrera goes down to AAA. We'll tell you about the corresponding move in just a few moments. Moncada strikes out looking on a pitch outside. He doesn't like it. He's going to argue a little bit. Midway through the first, no score. Dallas Keuchel, 14 starts, 6-3 record, 4.31 ERA. Over 77 in the third innings, a 1.36 whip, 76 hits, 29 walks, 72 strikeouts. Struggled his last time out for the Sox. Kyle Tucker's going to lead it off. The lefty will stand in against the lefty Keuchel, and a strike down the middle, 0-1 the count. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Strike on the inside corner, 1-1. Keuchel into the wind, delivers. Slider outside, 2-1. Comes back outside with a 3-1 pitch with Josh Reddick on deck. This one lifted out into right field. Tailing back is actually Madrigal, who's playing on a shift in shallow right. He'll make the play before Robert can get there. Engel was also converging. 1 gone here in the bottom of the first inning. Josh Reddick comes to the plate, hitting .297. He fouls off a 2-seamer low, 0-1 the count. So we mentioned that Kelvin Herrera sent down to AAA. He has had some real difficulties lately. Ricky Renteria is saying we had to make the move as quick as we could. Our bullpen's already taxed, and I just can't bring him in right now. The White Sox bring up Tayron Guerrero, the Cuban pitcher, and to be able to bring him up, they had to make room on the 40-man roster, so he's added to the 40-man. And Ian Hamilton was removed from the 40-man roster today. Herrera down to AAA. Guerrero up. Hamilton trying to clear waivers. 2 outs as that's a fly out to left field. And Jose Altuve comes to the plate hitting .309, 15 homers and 45 RBI on an 11-game hitting streak he took yesterday off. 2 outs here for Keuchel in the bottom of the first and nobody on. Rondell sets up on the inside corner. A 2-seam fastball gets across, 0-1 the count. Altuve's 15 home runs, second on his team. Our second place guy is Encarnacion. He has 15 as well. 1-1 the count as that one misses inside. 79-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch. Keuchel into the wind, the lefty delivers. Down the third base line, into the dugout. Bounced in there slowly. 1-2. Now this one lifted into right field, tailing towards the corner, but it'll stay in the park. And Engel's underneath it. He makes the play after a short run, and down go the Astros 1-2-3. Dallas Keuchel feeling at home right now early on. No score through 1. Eloy Jimenez comes to the plate, hitting .273 with 14 homers and 46 RBI. A .348 on-base percentage. He collected 4 RBIs in that game yesterday. Takes a fastball in the outside corner, 0-1 the count. Greinke working quickly. The righty delivers another. Down the middle and sent down the first base line. Fair ball rolling towards the corner. Jimenez coming around is on his way into second base. He is there standing. A double for Eloy. And the White Sox now have 11 more doubles than any other team in the American League. With 156, the Angels at 145 are second to them in that team total. So a leadoff double here in the top of the second inning, and Edwin Encarnacion comes up. 35 RBI to go with 15 home runs and a 264 average. First pitch low, a four-seamer. 1-0 the count. Sox know it's not going to be 11 runs today against Greinke. They've got to find their opportunities, work the count, try to get a couple of runs off of one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's ageless right now. Years ago, people thought he was done. No, he's nowhere near it. 1-1 the count now for a guy that I think is going to end up in the Hall of Fame. Outside four-seamer catches the corner, 1-2 the count. You got to wait till the end of the body of work. But there's a lot of me that believes that at some point Zach Greinke could easily be a Hall of Famer. As that fastball is low, 2-2 the count. The 2-2 pitch. Low and away, swung on and missed. Encarnacion goes down on strikes. Second strikeout for Greinke. Jimenez remains on second. And up comes Adam Engel. Adams hitting 275. Takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1 the count. 8 home runs and 20 RBI. He's got an 867 OPS. That pitch curves away, 1-1 the count. Draft going on this weekend. Talked with James Fox on Friday about our new first-round draft pick, Crochet. It was a short draft this year. A guy like Engel, who was drafted in the 19th round, would go undrafted. And he made it to the majors. It's got to say something. Swings and misses here, though, on a curveball low in the zone. And there's 2 gone. So Greinke gives up the double and then strikes out the next 2. And here's Nick Madrigal. Average up to 246. Lifts this one in the left field. It tails back towards the corner. They have a weird little spot where it gets deeper in left center, but it will be caught. Greinke gives up the double. Then the Sox go down 1-2-3 after that. Midway through 2, no score. Yordan Alvarez hitting 260, 15 homers, 39 RBI. Comes to the plate. He had a big 3-run home run last night. And it was a momentum swinger. Giolito was struggling. Things were already falling apart. Herrera comes in and gives up the 3-run home run. Sox lost the lead. They got it back a little bit later on a Robert home run. And then eventually the Astros pulled away, but they went into that inning leading 7-2 and came out of it losing 9-7. This one lifted into center field, and it will fall in front of Robert. Jimenez was also coming in. That's a base knock. Well hit ball by Alvarez in the vast openness of that outfield. So a runner on first here with no outs in the bottom of the second. George Springer comes up. He's hitting .313. Took the day off yesterday. Didn't even get to be a part of that big output of runs. He's got a runner on first base. The pitch. Inside changeup misses, 1-0 the count. Keuchel takes his hat off and looks inside of it like there might be answers. And he's back up on the mound. No outs, bottom of the second, no score here in Houston. Game 3 of a 3-game set. Each team has taken 1. Ground ball, back to right field, in between the 2 fielders. And it's a base hit by Springer. Runner advances 90 feet. And the Astros are in business, and Carlos Correa is coming up. There's no outs here in the bottom of the second inning. The shortstop has 13 homers and 33 RBI so far on the season. The average only at 227, but he's a good ball player. He's got runners on first and second here with no outs. Keuchel's in trouble early, throws that one outside, a changeup, 1-0 the count. Yesterday, he went 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts in a game where almost everybody hit. The 1-0 pitch, inside fouled off of Grandal's equipment. 1-1 the count. Keuchel checks the runner, The pitch on the way. Inside four-seamer misses 2-1. Sox have a day off tomorrow. They had an incredible run, 9 in a row. Lost a heartbreaker in Game 3 of their series recently at home against the Indians. So they dropped 2 out of 3 there. Ground ball over to third base. Moncada over to second. Over to first. 5, 4, 3. Rack them up. There's 2 gone here in the bottom of the second, with the lead runner standing on third base in Alvarez. Put it on the ground right to Moncada. He fields it. And then quickly around the horn, Madrigal turned it well. 2 gone. But after losing 2 out of 3, coming out of that 9-game win streak, Sox came here and it needed 13 innings to get a win against Houston, and then lost in a slobber knocker yesterday. You feel like this team is looking forward to the day off tomorrow, but it'd feel much better if they had the win today before it. Gurriel's in, hitting .248. He had a big game yesterday. He's 2-0 here in the count. Had the home run, 3 singles, I believe. He was all over White Sox pitching. 2-0 the count, 2 outs, bottom of the second, runner on third. Low inside fastball misses 3-0. And Keuchel now has to decide, does he want to go after Gurriel or wait for the next guy? On a 3-0 count, here's the pitch. A strike, high in the zone, caught it, 3-1. Next offering right down the middle, a changeup froze him, 3-2. So the count is full now. Dallas has the 2 outs, doesn't want to let that runner cross. Here comes the pitch. Outside corner, got him looking on a cut fastball. The backwards K ends the inning. He fought back. It was a 3-0 count. Keuchel strikes him out, no score after 2. We're in the Family Waterproofing Solutions 3rd inning as Luis Robert, hitting .221 with 5 home runs and 26 RBI, steps in. Family Waterproofing Solutions is family-owned, female-owned, and veteran-owned. Kenza Marine is a good dude. He works hard. Ground ball up the middle. Barehanded play by Altuve. Running behind Greinke, and he gets Robert by a step. Wow, he's good out there. Tim Anderson's coming up with 1 out in the top of the 3rd. Inside changeup misses 1-0 the count. Like I said, Kenza Marine. He's a good dude. He'll do the estimate over the phone with pictures. He'll come out to your house. He's got safe ways of doing it all. Does the work safely. Gives financing. Good pricing. Sox in the basement deals. Portion of the proceeds go in the first responders and veterans. As this is a ground ball over to Correa, it's short. Over to first. Anderson's out on the 6-3 putout. 2 gone in the top of the 3rd. And a portion of the proceeds going to veteran and first responder organizations. Family Waterproofing Solutions, a proud advertiser on Sox in the Basement. Details coming up here after this half inning. Grandal steps in, takes a ball low, 1-0 the count with 2 outs already here in the top of the 3rd. Greinke working quickly. This one is lifted out into center field. Springer's underneath it. Only 29 pitches so far needed for 3 innings out of Zach Greinke. He's cruising. Midway through the 3rd. There's no score here in Houston. Foundation issues not properly handled can be costly. Family Waterproofing Solutions is owned by Ken, a veteran of the United States Marines, and his wife Maria, making them a veteran-owned business and a female-owned business that will diagnose and repair wet or leaky basements. And while they're located on the Sox side, Family Waterproofing services the entire Chicagoland area and Northwest Indiana. And now, after taking time off to ensure they can do things safely and securely for you, Family Waterproofing is back in business and doing jobs. Plus, part of the proceeds for every job that they do are donated to veteran and first responder organizations who support our frontline defenders. And currently, Sox in the Basement listeners have access to special pricing when they contact Family Waterproofing Solutions now, 708-330-4466, or visit them today at FamilyBasementWaterproofing.com. Aledmez Diaz playing 3rd today for Alex Bregman. Fouls off an inside pitch, 0-1 the count. Next pitch inside, fouled off 0-2 quickly here in the bottom of the third inning. Dallas Keuchel, that was his 30th pitch. And now this one fouled off down the first base line. Count remains 0-2 to Diaz, who's hitting .216 and swings and misses at a ball that gets by. He's running down the first base, and he is going to get there on a drop third strike. Wild pitch after the strikeout is what it's going to be called. The scoring decision is strikeout/wild pitch. Runner advances the first on a drop third strike. I've seen everything now this series. Up to this point, I was like, what haven't I seen yet? Now I've seen everything in this series. Martin Maldonado's coming up, hitting .230. He's catching today. He's got a runner on first, inexplicably on first, and takes a changeup inside for a strike, 0-1 the count. He's 2 for 11 lifetime against Keuchel with 3 strikeouts. Diaz has some speed, but he's not a stolen base guy. This one's sent off of the netting right above the dugout. That's why they have it. 0-2 the count. Inside pitch swung on and missed. He tied him up. Maldonado could not lay off it. He's down on strikes. We're back to the top of the order again. Kyle Tucker to the plate. The pitch is outside. Cut fastball. 1-0 the count. He's 0 for 1 with the line out in the first inning. Hitting .284 on the season. We saw him come into a game during this series. First time he's started. Swung on and sent down the third base line, hooking foul into the stands, 1-1 the count. The lefty, highly touted in the organization for years. The White Sox even reportedly were interested in him when they were shopping Chris Sale and Jose Quintana. Fly out to Luis Robert, can of corn, 2 gone. And with 2 outs in the bottom of the third, Reddick comes up again, 0 for 1 with a flyout in the first. He's 3 for 10 in this series. He had a home run yesterday. Runner on first, 2 outs, bottom of the third, no score. Ground ball back to Abreu. He'll corral it, step on first, and the inning is over. These teams got their offense going in game 2, but this game, much like game 1, scoreless after 3. It's amazing how the offensive output is so different in this stadium when there's actual airflow and you're not playing in the vacuum with walls up all around it. If the roof is closed, it's a completely different ballpark. It plays completely different. Slider inside, thrown to Abreu for a strike from Greinke. That was pitch number 30 and his first pitch of the 4th inning. Now a 4-seamer fouled off, 0-2 the count. He's incredibly efficient and very capable of going all 9 and being effective for those 9 innings. Ground ball behind second. Altuve on a shift is going to grab it and throw it over and get Abreu on a long toss behind second base on the shortstop side in the grass. 1 gone here in the top of the 4th, and Moncada comes up 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the first inning. Yoan had a rough day. Game 1 on Friday, took yesterday off. Back in the lineup today. 4-seamer at the knees, called the ball. 1-0 the count. Shift is on now the other way. Correa's moved to the other side of second as Moncada's in the left-handed batter's box. And Altuve's in shallow right. 2-0 the count as that one misses outside. Here with 1 out in the 4th. Greinke stares in at his catcher and now delivers. A strike down the middle, a changeup taken, 2-1. Moncada steps out, swings the bat a few times. Greinke's ready on the mound, stares in. Into the wind, and the pitch. Swung on and lifted out into left field, getting down, that's a base hit. Moncada's on with a single. Hard hit ball, landing a few feet in front of the left fielder. We've got to run around with some speed, and the Sox are going to have to be aggressive with Greinke out there. Jimenez comes to the plate. First pitch outside, called a ball and a slider, 1-0 the count. Eloy is 1 for 1 in this game with a double in the second. He has done very well in this ballpark this weekend. probably had the best series so far of any White Sox hitter. He has 6 RBIs in the last 2 games, and he's 2-0 here. The pitch from Greinke, low, misses inside, 3-0 the count. Encarnacion stands on deck. He did not look good the first time up against Greinke. Now a high fastball, and Jimenez is going to walk. Greinke put nothing in the zone there, trying to nibble. He's been watching the last 2 days and watching Eloy just jump all over pitching in this ballpark as he's heating up here in June. Encarnacion, though, has a tendency to chase balls diving away, and Zach Greinke is a professional pitcher. And he tries that right away, a slider diving away, but doesn't get him the swing. 1-0 the count with 1 out and runners on first and second. Top of the 4th inning, no score. Another one outside, he doesn't get the call, 2-0. So Greinke's read the book on Encarnacion, and he's trying to give him the reach. Now he gets one in the zone on the outside portion of the plate, 4-seamer taken, 2-1. Outside pitch, he held off on a changeup, 3-1 the count with Engel on deck. Every single pitch has started off inside and tailed away. Now he rips this one out of the left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Moncada's coming around third. He will score a single by Encarnacion. Jimenez holds at second base. He kept going outside, outside, outside. Let's see where this one is on the replay. No, he goes in the middle. He started off and tried to make it look like it was going to dive out. It didn't. Or he meant to throw something that didn't break. And Edwin gets a hold of it, and it's 1-0 White Sox. First pitch to Adam Engels popped up to first base. The play is made, and there's 2 gone. Nick Madrigal is 0 for 1 with a flyout in the second. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. And he puts this one back up the middle. Base hit! Coming around third is Jimenez. The throw is coming in. It'll be cut off by the pitcher, Greinke. Another run is scored on a base hit from Nick Madrigal, who jumps on the first pitch from Zach Greinke, and he's given up 2 runs. And this is not the kind of guy that does that very often. He has been stellar all season long. The Sox have 2 on him now, and Luis Robert comes to the plate and fouls this one off down the third base line. 0-1 the count. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out in the 3rd inning. And he's up here with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Got slow runner on second base. That's Edwin Encarnacion. Broken bat, pop fly, first base, put away. The inning is over. Gurriel drops the ball, and they head into the dugout. The White Sox have taken a 2-0 lead on Zach Greinke. We're midway through the 4th, leading 2-0. Jose Altuve comes to the plate, 0 for 1 with a flyout in the 1st inning. 308 average, 556 slugging to go with his 373 OBP. The man can hit. Plays a good field as well. Inside fastball, taken for a ball. Greinke doesn't like it. 1-0 the count. Altuve, wearing 7 shirts because his wife wants him to keep his shirt on, puts this one down the first base line, hooking foul into the stands. You have to wonder how many shirts he has to wear to keep her happy. The 1-1 pitch, lifted out in the right field, tailing back towards the wall. Engel at the track. He makes the catch. There's 1 gone. He wasn't bogged down by all those shirts that might have gotten out. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 4th as Jordan Alvarez comes in. The lefty is 1 for 1 in this game. The lefty Keuchel into the wind of the pitch. Down the first base line, hooking foul, 0-1 the count. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Altuve's been accused of having some sort of device underneath his shirt and a walk-off home run as this one's down the third base line. It'll die in the corner. Jimenez picks it up. The runner into second base. And that's a 1-out double here in the bottom of the 4th. Ball gets over the top of the bag, gets down there, and then just kind of died in the padding. Jimenez could have thrown his hands up, but he still would have gotten second base. So he picks it up, pulls it out of the padding, and sends it in. George Springer comes to the plate now with a runner on second and one out. He's 1 for 1 already in this game. Keuchel checks the runner. Inside pitch. Springer jumps out of the way. 2 for 7 in this series, had yesterday off. He has a double. In game 1, a single so far in this one. 1-0 the count. Keuchel checks the runner and delivers. A strike at the knees, a changeup. 1-1 the count. Springer was the 2017 World Series MVP. How much that matters now remains to be seen. After all these things came out about the trash cans and the signals and the sign stealing, and like I said with Altuve, the possibility a device was underneath his shirt on a walk-off against Aroldis Chapman. And people wondering why he wouldn't take his shirt off. He claimed his wife doesn't like him doing so because of a tattoo. Meanwhile, there are so many pictures of him willingly taking his shirt off over the last couple of years. It really seems like that's a bunch of bunk. Like, I would give a look to my son, like, are you kidding me? If he tried to tell me that. Or something along those lines. Outside fastball misses and Springer walks. Runners on first and second here with one out in the bottom of the fourth. Keuchel up to 50 pitches. He's got 2 on now, and here comes Correa. 0 for 1 with a ground out in the second inning. You know Dallas wants to have a good game here. Facing the Astros here in Minute Maid, where he won a World Series. And a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. He won a Cy Young. And now we have him as a free agent. A solid pickup. Wasn't one of the top 2 guys on my list. Might not even have been in my top 3. But still a solid pickup. And 0-2 quickly to Correa. Checks the runner at second and delivers. Swung on and fouled back, a slider low and in. He's working him in, he's working him low. He's got him 0-2. Ground ball double play here would be great. On the ground over to Madrigal. It gets underneath the glove and into right field. Everybody moves up 90 feet and the bases are loaded. Abreu came over and they may have gone off his glove and changed the trajectory. Yes, it did. He pushed it with his glove and it went off of Mad's glove as a result. So, bad luck. We've seen that a few times here in the last couple days. Gurriel comes up now with the bases loaded and 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. Keuchel holding on to a 2-0 lead for now. This one lifted into left field. Coming on is Jimenez. He dives. He cannot make the play. 1 run is going to score. He gets up and throws it in and holds the next runner. It's 2-1. The bases remain loaded. And they're going to go out and talk with their pitcher right now. So they're done talking with Dallas. Here's Diaz. He's 0 for 1. Sack still loaded with Astros. Inside pitch. It looked like he went. They're going to say he didn't. 1-0 the count. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout, but he reached on a wild pitch. Did not score. Next pitch clearly in the zone. Inside. Should have been called a strike, and Keuchel doesn't get that either. He could have had a swinging strike there and a called strike and be 0-2. Instead, he's 2-0. Very questionable right now what's going on at home plate. Inside pitch lifted into left field, tailing back towards the wall. That one is gone. 358 feet, it gets out. A grand slam by Diaz. I hate Houston. I can't wait to leave here. All of it happens with 1 out in the 4th inning. Puts it into the first row. And the Astros lead 5-2. A 5-run 4th inning. They scored 7 yesterday in the 4th inning. 5 so far here. Martin Maldonado comes up 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the 3rd inning. A very good White Sox pitching staff has been very, very bad over the last week. There's been a few good games. We saw the absolute implosion Game 3 against Cleveland on Thursday night. They somehow hang in on Friday. Then they give up 15 runs yesterday. Nobody could pitch. And now you get a 2-0 lead staked to you, and Dallas Keuchel gives up 5 so far here in the 4th inning. Maldonado takes an outside pitch, 2-2 the count. Next offering, nubbed in front of the plate. Grandal's going to pick it up and throw it down to first. 2 gone here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Kyle Tucker comes up 0 for 2 with a flyout and a line out. 0 for 3 in the series. The wind in the pitch. Inside changeup, taken for a strike, 0-1. Now an 0-1 pitch outside, cut fastball, 1-1 the count. Ground ball over to the shortstop side. It goes out into left field. Another base hit given up. Runner on first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Dallas Keuchel so far has given up 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts over 68 pitches. He has 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Josh Reddick stands in 0 for 2. A strike on the outside corner, 0-1 the count. I'm going to tell you something, the strike zone's all over the place now. We saw Keuchel. He should have been 0-2 before that grand slam. And instead he's 2-0. That pitch there was well outside, easily a ball. It got called a strike. We're not going to blame umpires for losses, but I'm starting to become confused as to why we never saw this until the last week or so during the simulation, and now they've been terrible. Runner's going, down the first is the throw, he's safe. It was a ball, 2-1 the count. Next pitch is high, a 4-seamer, 3-1 the count. Altuve stands on deck, Keuchel already up to 72 pitches. The top of the rotation has been far less solid than the bottom of the rotation here for the White Sox. He now walks him. There's runners on first and second. We're still in the 4th, by the way. Feels like we've been here forever. The new pitcher from AAA, Guerrero, is warming up now with Michael Kopech as a high 2-seam fastball misses 1-0 the count. This may have been the most taxing series that I have sat around and called all season long. Because even Game 1 didn't feel like a victory, especially coming off of what had happened against Cleveland the other night. And this team does not look the same since that moment. They really don't. Even with the win on Friday night, the things they used to do to get out of innings, it's not happening right now. And the staff looks in complete disarray ever since the Tribe came back down by 5 runs with 4 outs to go in Chicago the other night. 2-1 the count. A strike that is called a ball, clearly in the zone above the knees, and it's 3-1. And folks, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to search through all the settings in this thing and try to figure out why all of a sudden everything's being called poorly by the umpires in this game. Ground ball down the third base line, foul. Count is full at 3-2. The pitch on the way. Sent down the first base line, foul into the netting. Full count, runners on first and second. 5-2 Houston. They've scored 5 already in this inning. They've got 2 on still. Lifted out to right field, underneath at his angle. The inning is thankfully over. Dallas Keuchel has thrown 80 pitches through 4 innings. The White Sox pitching staff continues to befuddle, and we're trailing 5-2 after 4. Tim Anderson will lead off the top of the 5th inning, the DP3 Tech 5th inning. They partner with Microsoft, and they came up with a way for you to get people right on the screen with one button. One button, get somebody on the phone, get somebody on the screen, get your data shared, show your file, show your image. People working from home, people at work, anywhere you're at, you're all working together. It's seamless, it's secure, and they will migrate your own systems for your small or large company right into this. as you adjust to this new world. 1-1 the count. No outs in the top of the fifth. Pitch to Anderson. Fouls it off, 1-2. You know, you get 2 off of Zach Greinke. You know you're not getting 5 off of him. So now what you got to do is you got to just chip away, try to get him out of the game, and hope you can get to the bullpen. He's just not that kind of pitcher. There's a reason why the White Sox have a Dallas Keuchel but not a Zach Greinke. We don't have that yet. Ground ball to first base, off the glove, rolls away to second. Anderson beats the pickup and throw from the second baseman Altuve. And he's on with an infield hit. First pitch to Grandal, sky down into left field, deep to the wall. It'll be caught. I hate these first pitch swings if you're not going to get anything out of it. When you're up against a guy like Greinke, you got to work him into the count. Abreu's 0 for 2. We got 1 out now and a runner on first base at Anderson. They pitch out. He's not going anywhere. 1-0 the count. There goes Anderson. He's going there. A strike down the middle. The throw down from Maldonado. He's safe with a head-first slide. TA still gets the base. Figuring they're not pitching out twice. You got to do this. You got to chip away. You got to hope your pitching staff can find a way to get you through this game. Depends on what bullpen you're going to see. The 1-1 pitch down the middle for a strike, 1-2. And then he swings and misses at one outside the zone, a slider. Abreu chased, 4th strikeout for Greinke, and there's 2 gone. Here comes Moncada with 2 outs and a runner on second base. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. This one down the first base line, foul. 0-1 the count. Anderson starts moving. This one's down the first base line, foul ball. 0-2. Wasn't a full-out steal, but he was moving off the base there. Now an 0-2 pitch misses outside, 1-2. Greinke checks the runner and delivers. Broken bat towards Correa. He'll scoop it and send it over. The bat lands right next to Zach Greinke on the mound. He's not phased, and the White Sox get nothing in that inning. We're midway through the 5th, trailing by 3, 5-2. New challenges bring new technology. DP3 Tech has partnered with Microsoft to make things easier on you and your business. Imagine being able to get everybody together in a nice, easy, user experience friendly meeting room and being able to share whatever you want in the room with just one click. You can migrate from old legacy on-premises equipment right now to flexible, secure, work-from-home friendly cloud services. Bring your group together faster, better, easier. Find out what DP3 Tech can do for you. Contact their cloud migrations team today, 312-896-2450, or email info@dp3tech.com. Dallas Keuchel will start the bottom of the 5th inning on 80 pitches, trailing 5-2. Throws an inside cut fastball for strike 1, 0-1 to Yordan Alvarez. Now he goes outside, this one lifted into center field. Tailing back towards the wall near the track is Robert. Everything these guys hit is deep. It's crazy. 1 out, bottom of the 5th inning. George Springer's up, 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored. He's got 54 RBI on the season. And he stands in for this first one. Low and off the leg of the pitcher, Keuchel. It bounces directly over to first base where Abreu puts his foot on the bag and receives it. That is a crazy play. Keuchel's been hitting the leg. He's going to stand out there and shake it a little bit. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. They're waving back the trainer, I think. They're saying they're fine. As Grandal was talking to him near the mound, checking on him. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and a cut fastball low goes for ball 1 to Carlos Correa. Now an outside pitch lifted down the first baseline, foul. He goes low below the knees, 2-1 the count. Inside pitch, jam shot, gets into right field. That's a base hit with 2 outs for Correa here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Sox are out on the mound now talking to Keuchel. A little bit of a conversation going on. 87 total pitches for Dallas. Not a very good start for him. If you look at Gurriel's splits, he's not so good against lefties. So if Keuchel's able to go, they're going to let him. He is. He's out on the mound. Rondal behind the plate with a sign. Runner on first, 2 outs, the pitch on the way. Popped up into center field. Underneath it is Robert. He puts it away. And the inning is over. We're through 5. Chasing a 3-run deficit. Trailing 5-2 here in Houston. Eloy Jimenez is 1 for 1. And he'll start off the top of the 6th inning. Zach Greinke, 63 pitches through 5 innings. Currently, the leader when they list who could be the starting pitcher for the All-Star game. Also listed right now in the simulation as possibly the Cy Young winner. But one of the 3 guys listed includes Gio Gonzalez. Who would have thought that? 1-2 now to Jimenez on a pitch on the outside corner. They go back outside with a slider and miss 2-2. Sox need to chip away here a little bit. Down by 3. That one's sent over to Correa. He's deep in the hole behind third, and he still gets it over. They're a good team. They cheated. Don't get me wrong, they're a bunch of cheating cheaters. But they're no slouches. I think if they didn't cheat, they might have still won a World Series, but they might not have. Pop fly over to first base. Encarnacion, 1 pitch, 1 out. There's already 2 gone here in the top of the 6th. Didn't even get a chance to introduce him. That's how quickly the White Sox are going down here. Greinke, currently the 2nd lowest ERA in the American League. Adam Engel comes in 0 for 2. Pitch number 70 is a swing and a miss. Changeup, outer portion of the plate. 0-1 the count. Now 1 low and away, misses. 1-1. 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. Next pitch low and inside, a curveball. 2-1. Greinke into the line, the kick and the throw. Outside corner, 4-seam fastball, catches it. 2-2. Now 1 low and inside, swung on and missed by Engel. He's down on strikes. A 1-2-3 inning for Zach Greinke. Midway through the 6th, he's in command, leading 5-2. And the White Sox are using their new toy. Tayron Guerrero, up from AAA. 52 games last year with 46 innings pitched. But then off the 40-man roster, down in AAA, he was cruising. He had a whip of 1.13, closing games in Charlotte. He had an ERA of 2.01. He had collected 15 saves in 15 opportunities. The big right-hander already has Diaz 0-2 in the count. Getting another opportunity. Next pitch, struck him out on 3 pitches, 4-seamer, right across the letters. Nice start for Guerrero. And here comes Maldonado, the 9-hitter. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. The pitch, outside slider, 86 miles an hour, misses 1-0. After he releases the ball, it's almost like he pulls the string every time. Like you see the motion where the hand snaps back as he's throwing the ball. The 1-0 pitch. Slider away, 2-0. Every time he drops it down, he immediately rips it back up again. It's very interesting. But that's what he does. He has this interesting motion where he comes down very hard to hard throwing downward motion that like springs back up his arm after the ball has been released. This one lifted into right center field, tailing back near the wall. Engel giving chase. He will make the catch up against the wall. A great play by Adam Engel. I thought that one was clearly going out or was going to bounce off the wall. He caught it, runs into the wall. There's two gone. Guerrero needs to go meet Adam Engel and tell him thank you. Swing and a miss on a four-seamer high and outside. 0-1 to Kyle Tucker now, the leadoff hitter in this game for the Astros. He's 1 for 3. Rondell sets up on the outside, four-seamer right into the glove, swung on and missed. 0-2. Two gone here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Checks the sign and the pitch. Inside, four-seamer. Came in at 101 miles an hour. He's got a cannon for an arm. Can he have enough control? That's the question. This one lifted out in the right field way back. And that is going to be dropped by Engel. He was running into the wall when he dropped it, so it's not an error. I thought he had it there for a second. It's going to be a triple. He ran into the wall, and the ball came out of the glove as he was catching it, going into the wall. So the young pitcher may be able to throw it at 101, 102 miles per hour we've seen. But he's given up two deep fly balls to right. Engel was able to pull in one, couldn't pull in the other one, and now here's Reddick 0 for 2 with a walk in the fourth inning, with a runner on third and 2 outs in the bottom of the sixth. And a strike on the outside corner, 0-1 the count. That one at 101. So look, he can rear back and he can throw it. The problem is, maybe it's too straight. Professional hitters right now are ripping that ball deep into the right field or right field gap. Runner on third here with 2 outs. This one fouled off down the first base line, 0-2. He's been ahead in counts, but finishing him off is another story. Now he goes with a changeup, and it's lifted out in the left field, a base hit, and a run scores. So I, just like you, wanted to see somebody who came up from AAA have a really nice inning. He got 2 outs there. Then he gives up the triple and the base hit, and a run scores. That's not good. And here's Altuve. 6-2 ball game now with 2 outs at the bottom of the sixth. And the pitch. Low and away, a slider, misses. 1-0 the count. This one back up the middle, off the leg of the pitcher, thrown over by Moncada, not in time. That is the 4th time we've seen that this series. That's the 4th time this series we have seen a ball hit off of one of our pitchers and bounce around the infield, and 3 times the runner has been safe. I think I saw it 2 times all season until this series. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone today and this entire weekend with these games in Houston. Yordan Alvarez, 2 for 3. And a swing and a miss and an inside four-seamer, 0-1. Guerrero has no problem getting the first strike or even the second one. It's the third one. It's given him difficulty. Alvarez, the lefty, is 2 for 3. He's got runners on first and second. High and tight, a four-seamer in at his face at 102 miles an hour. He dives out of the way. That's got to be scary. 1-1 count, still 2 outs here in the bottom of the sixth. The pitch. Low, he misses on a two-seamer, 2-1. Jace Fry, Carson Fulmer throwing. Guerrero got the first 2 outs, then gave up a triple, a single, and then another single. 2-1 count, the pitch. That one's fouled off, 2-2. Once again, he's got 2 strikes on somebody. Into the wind. Outside pitch dribbled down the third baseline, foul. Count remains even at 2. Swing and a miss on a slider inside. Hadn't seen him use that yet. It was all fastballs and changeups. Throws the slider high and tight and gets him. Gave up a run, though. After 6, we're trailing by 4, 6-2. Madrigal comes to the plate. Top of the 7th inning. Sox got 2 runs in the first, right away. And since then, nothing. Pitching staff is kind of in disarray over the last couple of days. There's no way to say it otherwise. There's been a few bright spots, but not a lot. I'll tell you, Michael Kopech over the last couple of games has impressed me. He's come in several times. He's pitched well. He's held off this Houston offense, one of the few guys that can do it. Steve Cishek is a bright spot for me amongst the pitchers. As Madrigal lifts this one out in the center field, can of corn, there's one gone. But Reynaldo Lopez had struggles on Friday, although some of that was bad luck. Lucas Giolito, Dallas Keuchel, that's been rough. As Robert comes up and puts a base hit out in the left field. He's been impressing me lately. Starting to really find it. White Sox as a team don't have that groove that they had during that 9-game winning streak. But there are some guys that are really coming along here, and these are the bumps and bruises, the ups and downs of a long season. One out here in the top of the 7th inning, a high pitch to Anderson. Goes for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Hitting .331, doing very well at the top of the order. Next pitch, a strike on the outside corner from Greinke. 1-1 the count. Robert takes off for second base. That one's a ball low to throw down, is not in time. Pop-up slide. He was already standing by the time the ball got there. Big jump by Luis Robert. Right now is the stolen base king of Major League Baseball. Greinke now throws an inside four-seamer called the strike 2-2. He's up to 83 pitches here in the top of the 7th. Inside pitch, four-seamer taken for a ball, 3-2 the count with Grandal on deck. Robert takes off. That pitch is outside for ball 4. Luis Robert is safe at third base on the walk to Anderson. He's running all over the place as the White Sox are trying to get something going here in the top of the 7th inning. Now Anderson over at first base. He has speed. You can imagine he might take off at some point. Meanwhile, Grandal's up 1 for 3, and he's got a runner at third base. Let's try to bring him home and cut down on this lead. A low pitch swung on and missed, a changeup. 0-1 the count. Ryan Presley and Joe Smith are warming up now for the Astros. Here in the 7th. Runners at first and third. One out. The pitch on the way. Fouls off a curveball, 0-2 the count. One out, top of the 7th. Anderson takes off for second. That pitch is low for a ball. TA is safe at second base. Robert holds at third. So the Sox running all over the place on Maldonado and Greinke. But we need to get a hit. Outside pitch misses, 2-2 the count. We got runners at second and third now with one out. Yasmani Grandal has a 2-2 count. Greinke's about to throw his 90th pitch. If there was ever a time to get back in this game, this is the moment. Swung on and sent down the third base line, getting out of play just barely. Almost a play made by Diaz, the third baseman. Next pitch is a strikeout looking right above the knees. He let it go by. Yasmani knew it. He thought it was going to be something else. Thought that ball was going to drop. Held off. And Greinke made him look foolish. Strikes him out. And now with 2 outs in the top of the 7th, Jose Abreu has to pick up his teammate. A high four-seamer misses, 1-0 the count. Moncada waits on deck. He's 0 for 3 today. He struck out in the 5th inning. A hit here would be big. It brings you back into reach of this game. Inside four-seamer misses 2-0. Greinke now up to 93 pitches. Doesn't seem like he's going to go all 9 innings, but I'd like to get to him here. Swung on and sent down the third base line. Foul. 2-1 the count. 6-2 Houston. That pitch is low on a changeup, 3-1. Moncada waits on deck, hitting .327, 12 homers, and 39 RBI. The pitch count getting high for Greinke. He remains in. A high inside fastball. He gets a gift from the umpire that should have been ball 4. At least according to my strike zone on the screen. 3-2 the count. Runners on second and third and 2 outs. Low and away, Abreu holds off and walks down the first base. The bases are loaded. 97 pitches so far for Zach Greinke. And his manager wants to see if he could finish off the 7th inning at least. And here you have a pitcher that's thrown 97 pitches and is on the ropes right now. But he has 2 outs and he is an all-star, perennial. And like I said, possibly a future Hall of Famer. Yoan Moncada's 1 for 3 and stands in the left-handed batter's box trying to do something. First pitch sent out in the right field, base hit. 1 run is going to come around, the second run trailing. To the plate, the play, he is safe at the plate. Anderson beats the throw by a hair, sliding around the tag. A bang-bang play at home and a 2-run single for Yoan Moncada at 6-4. TA was going the whole time. The Sox know that runs are in short supply in this game against Zach Greinke. He beats that throw. Ball got there perfectly. As he was starting his slide, he gets around the outside of the tag and gets it with his right hand while the left hand trails far outside away from the glove. Ryan Presley's going to come in to replace Greinke. The Sox have chased him. He leaves with the lead. Presley, 21 innings and a 6.00 ERA. 21 strikeouts to 6 walks. He's got 5 saves and 7 opportunities. They've been using him a lot. Remember, he pitched 2 innings on Friday night, did well in the first inning, and then the Sox got 2 runs off of him and sent it to extras. Jimenez to the plate, takes a slider outside, 1-0 the count. Abreu's on second, Moncada's on first. Sox are down 6-4. If there was ever a time, Aloy, now is the moment. Jack this one. The 1-0 pitch on the way. High and inside, misses 2-0. As Encarnacion stands on deck. Sox making a game out of it now. Down by 2 with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. The pitch on the way. Swung on and missed a slider inside, 2-1. Warming up in the bullpen, Colomé and Bummer. One of them coming in the 7th inning. The 2-1 pitch. Outside misses, ball 3, 3-1 the count. Edwin's on deck. Hoping that Presley makes a mistake right here. Low, and he misses that one on the outside corner. He wanted it. Jimenez down to first. It probably was a strike. Something went our way. The base is loaded yet again for Edwin Encarnacion. 95-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. Looks like it was in the zone. Presley didn't get the call, and it benefits the White Sox. The bases are loaded with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Edwin's 1 for 3. A base hit's big. A home run's bigger. The pitch on the way. Swung on and driven deep down the third baseline. Hooking foul. Went down to one knee on that one. A little bit in front of it. The 0-1 pitch. A high fastball called a strike at the letters. 0-2. 2 outs in the top of the 7th. The bases are loaded. Sox have already gotten in 2 runs in this inning. They trail by 2 still. And a hit here would be big. You don't need to do too much. The pitch. Inside, taken for a ball, 1-2. Jimenez at first, Moncada at second. He had the 2 RBI single earlier in this inning. Abreu over at third. The 1-2 pitch on the way. strike down the middle, and he took it. Edwin looked silly as well. 2 guys struck out looking in this inning for the White Sox, and they end up stranding 3. They're going to sing a song here. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th, still chasing 2 in Houston. Aaron Bummer's coming in a crucial moment as he tries to hold this game to only 2 runs. 36 innings, 2.25 ERA, 10 holds, 2-2 record. He will face George Springer first. Strike on the outside corner, 0-1 the count. Sox are trailing here, but feel like they have a chance of coming back in this game. They're going to throw their best out there. The day off tomorrow. It's all hands on deck at this point. After you pull back to a 2-run deficit in a crazy series here in Houston. Outside 4-seamer misses, 1-1 the count. Correa stands on deck. Bummer now goes outside again with a sinker and misses 2-1. Minnesota has taken the lead in Kansas City 5-4. They're going for the sweep. Today we entered play 4.5 games back after being a game and a half back just about 4 days ago. Ground ball over to third base. Moncada gets it, throws it over. 5-3 putout. Here's the thing. The White Sox are having a great season so far. A great season so far. But the problem is that the Twins are having an insane season at this point. To be so far above 500, they have the record that we have. But every time you look up, they're pulling away. And the only time you can pull them close to you is when you beat them head-to-head. Nobody else seems to have a lot of success against them. 0-1 to Correa right now, who's 2 for 3. Ground ball down the first baseline, foul. Sox also in a very tough stretch right here. 3 against the Indians, who are pretty good. 3 against the Astros. Fly ball. Out in the right field, angle underneath it. 2 gone. You can win this game. Over those 6 games, you split them. Against very good competition. But you got some work to do. Gurriel comes in now. Bummer's got 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Only 8 pitches so far, a slider down the middle for a strike, 0-1. We've seen Aaron go more than 1 inning and be effective in this season. There's a good chance you'll see it here. That's a strike on a foul ball down the first base line. 0-2 the count. The pitch on the way. Inside, he hit him. We just keep hitting Astros players. I'm surprised they haven't retaliated. Feels like the Sim White Sox want to take their shots at the Astros just like the rest of Major League Baseball. The problem is we don't want to put anybody on. That one gets away from Bummer unintentionally. There's a runner on. And here's the man that hit the grand slam that turned this from a 2-1 White Sox lead to a 5-2 deficit, eventually becoming 6-2 before the White Sox scored 2 last half inning. He quickly fouls off 2, and Diaz, who's 1 for 3, is 0-2 in the count. Inside pitch, rifled out in the right field, tailing back towards the wall in the corner. It's off the wall. Engel gets it in. It's a double. And now there's 2 on. Bummer got the first 2, and they're getting to him now. And I'm telling you, what used to be automatic for this team, especially out of the bullpen, is no longer. At least not in Houston. And not since the game the other day against the Cleveland Indians. There's a confidence level that I think is missing. This team sorely needs the day off tomorrow to get it together. Everybody's got to have a come-to-Jesus moment. Maldonado's 0 for 3. The 9-hitter stands in with runners at second and third. Bummer's job is just to hold things so the Sox have a chance to come back. He's 1-0 now. Next pitch, lifted out in left field. Underneath it is Jimenez. He'll make the catch near the track. The inning is thankfully over. 6 runs on 12 hits for Houston, 4 on 8 for the Sox after 7. Joe Smith comes in for the Astros now. 8.2 innings over 8 games, 7.27 ERA. I like seeing a guy that's got a high ERA. Now let's see if we can do something about it. Larry Garcia is going to grab a bat. He's going to bat for Adam Engel here. Sox not happy with what they're getting out of Adam. And with this right-handed pitcher, they want Larry batting lefty. Takes a slider outside. 0-1 the count. 283 average, 5 homers, 29 RBIs so far in the season. For Garcia, who takes a strike down the middle, 0-1 the count. We're in the top of the 8th inning, trailing by 2. Next pitch swung on and missed a slider, high and tight, 0-2 the count. That pitch is outside, a sinker, 1-2. 38,286 here today. They had over 37,000, I think it was 37,110 on Friday. Just over 38,000 yesterday, and this is the biggest crowd of the 3-game series. Where do they put them? The 1-2 pitch low and away, taken 2-2 to Garcia. Next offering, back up the middle. That is a tough play by Altuve. Oh, man, you'd think you were watching a video game because nobody makes that play. But he made it. 4-3 putout, somehow running directly behind second base and getting a very speedy runner coming down the line on an off-balance throw. Nick Madrigal comes to the plate, 1 for 3. He's the 8-hitter, and he takes a slider down the middle, 0-1 the count. It's a nice hit ball by Garcia. I think on any other day in any other ballpark, it's probably a hit. It's like the Bermuda Triangle here as Madrigal sends this one deep out in the right field, but it's not going anywhere. Everything goes to the track here in Houston. The biggest bright spot of the series is Luis Robert, 3 for 9 with a monster home run, a couple of big hits. He's had a double, a single so far today. And an outside sinker misses, 1-0 the count. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Nobody warming in the pen. Bummer clearly coming back, at least to start the bottom of the 8th. Pitch to Robert, outside slider, 2-0, he takes it. Next pitch, inside slider, misses, 3-0. Anderson waiting on deck. Now a fastball at the knees, taken for a strike, 3-1 the count to Robert. Beautiful day for baseball. The roof is open. Inside pitch misses, Robert's down the first base. We all know he's going to be running to second. Very early on in Anderson's at bat. Timmy Anderson comes to the plate now. In the top of the 8th inning. He's 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. He's hitting .331. He's getting on base at a .366 clip. So he doesn't take a lot of walks. First pitch low, a slider, 1-0 the count. He's 2 for 5 lifetime against Smith with a strikeout. Robert takes off. That pitch is low. It's a ball and safe with another steal as Luis Robert is 35th of the season and 3rd of the game. 2-0 count now to Anderson. The pitch on the way. Sent over to second base. Easy play for Altuve. He's gone, and the inning is over. We're midway through the 8th. We're trailing 6-4. Larry Garcia will take over in right field for the White Sox after pinch hitting for Adam Engel. Thought he had a base hit there. Something weird happened, and he didn't. Kyle Tucker's 2 for 4 with a triple, a single, and a run scored. The lefty in against Aaron Bummer will start off the 8th inning after 16 pitches. In the 7th, first pitch popped up to the catcher Grandal. Underneath it, there's one gone. In game 1 of this series, the Sox trailed by 2 runs, 3-1, going into the 9th inning, tied it up and won in 13. In game 2, the White Sox led 7-2, going into the bottom of the 4th, and 7 runs were given up. They roared back and took the lead again before eventually losing 15-11. Today, the Sox jumped out to a 2-0 lead on Zach Greinke. Eventually fell back 6-2. We're now trailing 6-4. And Bummer has Josh Reddick 2-1 in the count with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Trying to duplicate what happened on Friday. Can it happen? Sure. Anything can happen. Inside pitch fouled off, 2-2 the count. Bummer working against another lefty in Reddick. The pitch on the way. Outside misses on a cut fastball, 3-2 with Altuve on deck. Now a strike called on the inside corner. He got him on a cut fastball. Couldn't pull the trigger. 2 gone here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and here's Altuve, 1 for 4 with a single in the 6th. 2 for 10 in the series. And Bummer has nobody on and 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch cut fastball fouled off, 0-1 the count. Cishek warming in the bullpen now. A low sinker misses, 1-1 the count. Based upon how he's been used over the last couple games, he may be the closer, even if Renteria isn't naming one at this point. That pitch rifled out in the left center field is going to get down and get into the gap. It's going to be a double for Altuve. Robert gets the ball in. Another 2-out hit against Bummer. Did the same thing last inning. Got 2 quick outs and then put 2 guys on and had to survive. And here comes Yordan Alvarez. Now the good news is he's a lefty. The inning set up well for lefty-on-lefty action. And Bummer's supposed to be one of the best. He's faltered a little bit over the last week. Alvarez is 2 for 4 with a double, a single, and a run scored, hitting .264 with a .513 slugging percentage and a big 3-run home run yesterday. Runner on second, Altuve, he checks him and he throws. High outside cut fastball, 1-0 the count. Alvarez only hitting .209 with runners in scoring position. Didn't seem to matter on Saturday afternoon. This one lifted out into right field. Garcia, back near the wall, will make the play and the inning is over. So many fly balls to the warning track for both teams in this series. Like there's some sort of hidden force field out there that can be turned off and on. It's 6-4 after 8. Roberto Osuna has been in the bullpen the entire series and never been called upon by the Astros. In every close moment, they have not used him. Now he's out there, 25 saves and 30 opportunities. So obviously he's blown 5 saves. Yasmani Grandal will lead it off. The lefty is 1 for 4 against Osuna, the right-handed pitcher. And an inside 4-seamer at 98 miles an hour gets through the zone for a strike, 0-1 the count. Sox looking for a base runner first, then figure it out after that. Middle of the order, swung on and missed. Grandal is 0-2, as that one is a 4-seamer below the knees that he chases. Sox down 6-4 here in the 9th inning. They came back in the 9th inning 2 nights ago here against the Astros. Osuna was not on the mound. This changeup inside fouled off. Count remains 0-2. Inside cut fastball misses, 1-2 the count. Sox with a day off tomorrow. Much needed for them and for me. And then back to business on the road, no matter what happens here. Swing and a miss on a changeup away. 1 gone here in the top of the 9th. Osuna has 25 saves on the season. We just saw Brad Hand in the last series for the Indians. He has 24. It's amazing to see the amount of closers out there with huge save numbers. We don't have that. We don't have anybody with 10 saves on our team, let alone 20. Foul ball back to the backstop on a low fastball. And Abreu's already 0-1 in the count. Now he pops back a 4-seamer inside at 99 miles an hour, and he's 0-2. It's the one thing the White Sox don't have. They don't have, in my opinion, a legit closer. Swing and a miss at a changeup inside. He's down right away. You don't see this kind of dominance out of Colome in the sim or in real life. Not like what we see out of guys like Brad Hand and Osuna. And it might be the next thing the Sox have to go out and get if they can't develop it. Moncada's 2 for 4. There's 2 outs here at the top of the 9th inning, and the Sox are going down quickly as a 4-seamer is fouled off. 0-1 the count. If he gets on, Jimenez comes up. He's been hitting well in this series. A slider fouled off down the third base line, 0-2 quickly. They're on their feet here in Houston. That's a swing and a miss, and the game is over. The Sox drop 2 out of 3 to the Houston Astros after dropping 2 out of 3 to the Indians the series before. We've lost 4 out of our last 6 after a 9-game winning streak. We played a very good team and a very good pitcher today, but it's our pitching that is hurting us right now. No consistency out of some of the starters. Not all of them. But the guys you really rely on in Giolito and Keuchel are not bringing it every 5 days. And the bullpen was just cut up over the last 4 days. They had one really good moment, and that was on Friday night, when guys like Michael Kopech and Steve Cishek, along with Evan Marshall, were able to bridge the gap through extra innings so they could get the win. But a lot of other guys in this bullpen have had a very, very hard time, and something needs to get fixed. Zach Greinke gets the win, 6 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 4 walks, 4 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. Dallas Keuchel takes the loss, 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 2 walks, 5 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. Ozuna gets the save. Luis Robert goes 1 for 3, Anderson 1 for 4, Jimenez 1 for 2 with a double, and Moncada 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run scored. And that's the highlights for the White Sox. Only 4 runs on 8 hits. They lose 6-4 and drop 2 out of 3 here in Houston. The day off tomorrow, and we will see you on Tuesday here in Sox in the Basement. Get the recap for every game at SoxOn35th.com and also stats following every series. And I'm sure they're going to have some analysis for what's going on with this bullpen right now and this pitching staff as a whole. Meanwhile, we will see you on Tuesday on the podcast For Fans by Fans, found everywhere podcasts can be found and always at SoxInTheBasement.com. Bye-bye, everybody.
Sox in the basement. Sox in the basement. Sox in the basement.
Sox in the Basement. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found and always on SoxInTheBasement.com.